Welcome to FTB Weekends for the Saturday, the 17th of December, 2022. It is currently 12:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as recording this. I am your host, of course, Jason C. McLean, but I'm in a different location. Before my studio looked out on from the top of the mountain, but now we have a sort of a different, more looking up vantage point, more southwest kind of vantage point. It's actually a green screen. Anyways, welcome as always, Don McSweeney. Oh, I have to, yeah, okay, sorry. Welcome as always, Don McSweeney.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. So
You're from a whole new location, winter in Montreal.
Yes, exactly. Winter in Montreal. Of course, I'll probably be back at the other location next week. Anyways, yeah, speaking about winter in Montreal, that's our main story. The snow, let it snow. This is it started off yesterday. You caught the early bit of the snow.
I caught it. I left my house right before 7 a.m. and it hadn't started yet. And then by the time I got to Legault, I was like, oh, look, these cute flakes have started. And then by the time I was on the 20, it was, oh my, close all the schools.
Wow. Well, by the time I woke up and ate something, it was snowing. It stopped by the afternoon. It was sort of chilled down where this picture was taken. But then it started again, and now it's still falling. Apparently,
Still going.
We're gonna get 15 to 25 centimeters. They're gonna have a white Christmas, I guess. Like we're gonna, if it's this,
yeah, and then I would like it to go away.
Yeah. See, for me, it's not the snow that always bugs me. It's the cold. Of course,
you could do without both for 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. But I'm saying it's like, for example, like I don't drive, so, and I'm not the one who shovels out the bus. So I guess for me it works out, but there is somebody who's hopefully paid very well to shovel out that bus. Although we've had some famous Montreal. I mean, it seems the cities in the winter when there's no snow, it's just like when there is snow, it's almost like sometimes we don't know what to do with it. Like remember the time when there was ice, when there was that bus. There's a viral video of a bus.
Yeah, it's totally viral. That's what everybody knows of Montreal. It's Beaver Hall Hill, I believe, and that bus is going on down.
And then the police car comes in to try and change it, and the police car starts piling into the bus, and then everything's going very slow, and then another bus comes, and I think there's like one car that just sort of drives by, ignores all of this, and like, but yeah, that's Montreal. I mean, I kind of love the snow. I mean, like I that's the one part of the winter I do like. Before the snow, though, we have talking about a sad story. There was the snow can't be blamed on this. This was actually earlier this week. Sorry, I just gonna get the names right. It's a 7-year-old, a 7-year-old Ukrainian evacuee named Maria Levenkovska was actually killed. She was walking near her school downtown Montreal in a hit and run. Now, I mean, that's what's tragic. The fact is, if you think about it, her family fled like a war zone to come here where it's safe, and then their kid gets killed by a hit and run. Obviously, but I mean, I guess also people are talking for more road safety. I don't know. I mean, there's no real takes on this. It's just, I guess it's just really sad. But there is something.
It's really sad. I believe the guy turned himself in finally, which is at least that. I try to understand why somebody would hit and run, and I guess the initial thing is shock or panic. I guess is the most generous thing I could assume, but.
Yeah,
it's always just boggles my mind. Again, I don't drive, so the worst I could do is shoulder check you if you don't move out of my way on the sidewalk. But it's tragic. When on my way to work, there are spots that have crosswalks that are near medical centers in residential areas where people just don't even look before they drive. Crosswalks, stop signs. It's a 3-way stop. People just don't even look and they just drive right through.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, maybe is it for a change of the rules, or is it for the fact that people should just start respecting the rules? Like, I mean,
respecting the rules would be awesome. When I travel anywhere else in Canada, I find that it's just Quebec that doesn't seem to respect them the same way. I mean, nobody respects speed limits anywhere, but I mean, at least pedestrians seem respected elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's like, it's sort of, especially like a school zone too. I mean, she was near her school. It's obviously. Yeah, but do you think there's anything the city government can do? Anything the government can do about it? Do you think, or is just people?
I mean, car cult is car cult right now. I find a lot of people, it seems like during lockdown, forgot how to interact with others, forgot how to have any empathy, and are just kind of willy nilly out there, like flagrantly thinking that they could do what they please, which is obviously what this driver did. And it's just, car cult's dangerous, cars are dangerous. People who are erratic and impatient sometimes forget that, you know, their car is a privilege and not a right, and that it's a fucking deadly machine.
Yeah, like, I mean, at least like you, like, for example, the buses, at least the bus drivers are trained and stuff
And
like
like,
that. Like they,
and speaking of, I know this happened before the snow, but yesterday, whiteout conditions, that same three-way stop sign, that's a bus stop and two medical buildings in the West Island. So it's suburban housing as well. And the cars were just blowing through, not even taking into consideration that it's a crosswalk bus stop in the snow.
yeah, okay, so yeah, that culture needs to change. One thing about the Quebec that François Legault thinks will help the healthcare system is actually more money, and he thinks just
Stuff it. He
money.
doesn't know what's let me start.
Go off on this one.
I'll go off because he doesn't actually know what he's talking about. He likes photo ops and he likes bullshit, and he likes to blame the federal government for the promises that he made and broke. So the fact of the matter is the system is so broken right now. I don't know what your goal is. If you're going to throw money at it, you're going to what? Throw money and try to give people raises? That's not going to work. Your people are retiring early because the whole profession here has lost its dignity. The government always wants to blame the doctor somehow for not working hard enough. Whereas I don't think the mass majority of people understand that doctors, like practitioners and you know, doctors who are seeing patients outside of hospitals, get paid per patient seen. So it's like when they're like, oh, they're not working hard enough. The Collège des Médecins of Quebec considers 12 patients a day a full day. I know all the doctors I know see more than that, and they're getting paid per person. That doesn't count the amount of time they spend. They don't get paid for charting. They don't get paid. So when you take away all the dignity and you just keep turning around and being like, doctors need to work harder, all the money in the world isn't going to fix it if you don't fix the inherent problems. For instance, right now it takes, if you have just need a routine pap smear as a woman, it will take upwards of 8 months or more to get a gynecologist to provide the routine care that my body requires as just standard issue. And that is, it's unacceptable, and it's going to lead to problems down the line. And all that does is create more frustration and more people bailing because there's no respect for or dignity for the practice anymore. They'd get more respect and dignity elsewhere to do it unilingually. And so throwing money at it, like, look, they took that money and they built that extension on the Lakeshore Hospital that they didn't even know why they were building it. They were just like, we have to do something. Like, the system needs an overhaul, and it really should be led by doctors and medical professionals and not Legault.
Well, one thing I know is that the federal level, like Trudeau, and I think even Jagmeet Singh are saying that there should be some sort of condition. They shouldn't just give the money without conditions attached.
There should be, because if you don't watch out, he's just gonna fucking divert it and be like, we need to attract more French dermatologists to this particular college out in the Saguenay. And it's gonna be like, no, actually what we need to do is have a hospital that functions at less than 200% capacity.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's, I mean, that's, I guess it's been a debate that's been going on, well, argument back and forth, but Legault seems to have magnified it.
You need a system. You need a system in place that's designed by people who are actually familiar with what goes on at ground level. And he proves time and again he's not aware of what goes on at ground level because he's tone deaf and posts pictures of him with like book club shit when the rest of the world is busy worrying about their lives.
And he was upset that the federal government was planning to maybe actually give us universal dental care eventually. And he says, we'll decide how we spend our own money. People get covered he actually said people get covered for their teeth at work. Now, yeah, some people, after they've been in this particular job for a year, might get covered for dental.
He just said,
but
is an argument to raising the minimum wage to $18. He said it's hard to get by on $18, so we shouldn't raise it. What we should do is make sure that the higher wages are already raised more. It's like his brain doesn't work. All he cares about is his language and his money and his friends. There's no desire. He doesn't have to make anybody happy. He's cruising. This is where he said he was going to cop out at 10 years in politics or whatever, or by a certain age. And he's there. To him, his game is done. He's cruising now into retirement.
He is the local flag bearer for Out of Touch. And I guess the international tech community worldwide flag bearer for Out of Touch is the subject of, if we had a graphic or a thing right now, it would be something like Elon update. Da, 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 da.
It would be a much
What?
way
It's a
less
bird.
fanfare. It would be like
Is it-
Elon.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of updates. Elon Musk, of course, still in charge of still running Twitter into the ground. One story from earlier this week, and this is it's not even the latest one. One story, but this is something I'm writing an article about. I have an interesting solution for this, by the way. One story from earlier this week is that apparently Twitter hasn't been paying rent at its San Francisco office or any of its global offices for a few weeks now. Elon just decided to stop paying rent, and also fired a bunch of janitors. One of them had been there for 10 years, and
No,
basically
stop.
And one of his execs apparently told the janitor that had been for 10 years, "Oh, your job's going to be done by a robot." Like, and now, okay, it might be apparently it's a negotiation tactic, the kind that only billionaires can do. Like negotiate for a better rent deal or something like that by just not stopping the pay.
How does Twitter not own the building it's in, bro? That's some crazy shit.
I don't know, but apparently they don't own any of the global buildings they have, and apparently they're he's decided to stop paying rent.
Wow, you are breaking this news to me right now. I want you to know I am floored by this information.
But the thing is, my solution, if it work, okay, first of all, it's like Scrooge like to fire janitors fire employees before Christmas, but it's also like it's cartoonishly evil, and it's just so callous. And
he doesn't have a heart.
But if he wants to share, he wants to save sort of some administrative building costs and rent costs, why not embrace remote work? But that's the point of my article. But that's coming up he hates remote work, but come on, they save a lot of money by that. And like, of course, one of the justifications for remote work is the fact that there's some, like, for example, it supports other workers like janitors, like the community around it, by having the people in the office. But you know what? He doesn't even want that part of it. He doesn't even want to support that. He just wants it for this image of the billionaire. But because you can't be a Bond villain with a bunch of guys on computers and charts behind them in a big full room where you torture James Bond, right? He can't walk around an office and like that if there's no people in the office, if everyone's done remotely.
It's not every day where you could say he should have just stuck to electric cars and going to Mars, but he really just should have stayed in his lane, man. Like, this went badly for him. It's not the recovery it will take for the PR on this. Whew.
That's not the latest. No,
I mean, in general, this whole Twitter fiasco where we can now just say where that time when Elon really jumped the shark in case there was any doubt.
Yes, but there's the story. The Elon update is not over. Go on. Okay, so on Friday, apparently on Thursday night, he originally said that the Twitter account that tracks his private plane using publicly available information, he would still allow it to continue on the platform, claiming despite it's a security risk. I mean, it's public information. Like, the plane is in San Francisco. Like that's what it says now. I'm pretty sure. But the thing is,
but go on.
He decided to. He claimed that there was an attack on, like, a personal threat to, like, his family or something like that. I don't know about the veracity of that, but which if it was, that would, again, don't go after someone's family. That's a horrible thing to do. But if apparently he banned that account, and then he basically, anyone reporting on that account or linking to that account, he kicked journalists from CNN, Wall Street Journal,
Post.
Just nuked them from Twitter because apparently they were linking to, in some cases they were linking to a non-existent account that was sharing publicly available information. And his whole argument is like, whether you're a journalist or not, no doxing. Like, he's saying they were doxing him. He's a billion. Everyone knows he's in San Francisco. It's like linking to that account's not going to it's not doxing. I don't know. It's
what's the politically correct term for being for needing to put on your big boy pants? That's it. He needs to put on his big boy pants.
And he was in a like whatever, a Twitter room or something like that, like a chat room with media and stuff like that. And he jumped in and he couldn't answer the question, so he just nuked the entire room. Yeah, and then they nuked the entire room.
Chappelle brought him.
He got booed off stage by Dave Chappelle's show. That was a Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, of course he got booed. The show was in San Francisco. Half the people in that audience either were fired by him or know someone who was fired by him. Like,
It's crazy.
did he think he was going to get cheers?
I don't get it. He should have once again just
Did,
just stay quiet and do your smart shit and stay out of all this. Anytime it involves people, he seems to be a real failure at it. I'm not saying that tracks, but people who
okay,
usually figure out how to make spaceships aren't usually the best inclined at social engagement, if you
but
follow.
someone who is who is familiar with social engagements, Dave Chappelle, did he know Elon was going to be booed, or?
I think it was weird in general. Now, I was told that he always brings up like whoever's hanging out backstage, like his famous buddies. Like I think he's
Okay,
excited by
so
his famous buddies. But and I think if I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Dave Chappelle was like standing there like being like, "Damn, you are getting booed." Like I think he did. Like you can't not mention it. So in a way, I wonder if that was. I wonder if he was like, either way this goes, it's gonna be funny.
yeah, yeah. Although he was saying it's the people in the cheap seats who are booing you, or it's the people you fired, or something like that. Like that's a little bit of Dave Chappelle's.
But then
One of the funniest.
if they had cheered, he could have
Yeah,
said the same thing. Oh, it's only the people in the expensive seats that are cheering for you.
yeah. I mean, Dave Chappelle is one of the funniest comedians ever, but he's lately he's been I don't know he's been really kind of antagonistic, like like the one like especially did you see his bit on Saturday Night Live where he was talking about Kanye?
I did not, although I do know it was there. What I got from it was afterwards the impression that he went a little hard on defending free speech.
Yeah, yeah, and he was well it's an interesting bit. Well well, we won't comment that we're focused on Elon Musk, which was taking far too long. Focused on the weather. It's snowing. It's not snowing in San Francisco, but Elon is making it rain in embarrassment. So with that, while Twitter's still around, follow Don McSweeney at oh yeah, there's a show where we should you doing the shows this week, but there's one show in particular I think we should.
This Wednesday, the 21st, come out celebrate the solstice in Saint Henri for a sleazy Christmas. It's going to be the sleaziest, funnest Christmas party of the year for a good cause. It's got raffles, it's got comedians, it's got strippers. I'll be there too.
Are the comedians stripping?
No, and nor are we raffling off strippers.
Oh, okay. I just got confused. That sounds
He's
sleazy
on
to
our
me.
site. Check out FTB on the app. We got the shows this week.
Yeah, shows this week. Every Thursday, Don McSweeney shows this week. You can read about that on Forget the Box. You can follow Don McSweeney at McMoxie on Twitter and Instagram. Me at Jason C. McLean. Forget the Box at Forget the Box on both those platforms. If you're watching this on Facebook, like and share the video. Follow us on Facebook at Forget the Box on YouTube. Smash that like button. Subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. Follow Forget the Box. Of course, we get for our you get our app, Android app. And for daily content, of course, check out, as I just said, check out whether snow, rain, sleet, or snow, or clear weather. Check out forgetthebox.net. We'll catch you next week for another FTB weekend.